What is up, Chronics? In this video, I'll be talking about this week's Double Money Event Week, as well as the newest additions and discounts as well. This event week is for September 22nd through September 28th, 2022. So, for new content this week, we have the Dinka Conjo SJ and the Postlude that were both added today. I'm guessing they gave us two on the same day to kind of make up for the last two event weeks with no drip feed. But anyways, that makes those the 6th and 7th drip feed cars, which means we have 5 drip feed vehicles left for this DLC. Plus, the service carbine is now officially available for purchase, so you don't have to do those annoying crime scenes in order to acquire it. But anyways, the current prize ride for this week is the Flash GT. This car is primarily based on the Ford Fiesta RS WRC, and it has a normal price of just under $1.7 million. So definitely a very expensive car. To get this car for free, you have to place top 3 in a Pursuit Series race for 3 days in a row. In terms of performance, it is in the sports class and used to be the quickest for rally style off-road races until the SE Sport came along and dethroned it. But overall, the Flash GT is still a really fun car to drive with great handling as well. In terms of the test ride vehicles for this week, we have the Futo GTX, the Tailgate S, and the GB200 as well. And for next-gen console players, we have the Astrid Custom as the HSW test ride vehicle for this week. Now, in terms of the Casino Podium vehicle, we have the Cyclone. This car is primarily based on the Rimac Concept 1. It has a normal price of just under $1.9 million, so definitely very expensive. In terms of performance, this car is in the supercar class and has amazing acceleration as you would expect, but as with most electric cars, its top speed and handling isn't all that great. Obviously, if you're on next gen, the Cyclone 2 is a much better version to own, especially with the HSW. But overall, this car does have a great design, and I think it looks fantastic in a supercar garage. In terms of the dealership cars for this week, for luxury autos, we have the Jubilee and the Itali RSX. And for Simians, we have the Euros, the Phoenix, the Gauntlet Classic, the Vamos, and the Previon as well. So starting off with the discounts, for the property discounts, we have 40% off the auto shops, plus 40% off the upgrades and renovations for it as well. Continuing, we have 40% off the armory upgrade for the agency, which is pretty random, only that specific upgrade. Moving on to vehicle discounts, we have 40% off the Euros. So this car is in the sports class and is of course usable in tuner races, and it's pretty quick for what it is, being around mid-pack in the sports class, but obviously it's nowhere near the top of a sports or tuner subclass. Next up, we have 30% off the Itali RSX. So this car is in the sports class and is in top 5 for track performance in that class, which is very impressive, but obviously it's still a bit off the pace of the Itali GTO because it just lacks downforce, but otherwise it's still a really nice car with great customization. Moving along, we have 40% off the Vapid Click. This car is in the muscle car class and is very impressive, being in top 10 for that class for most tracks, and depending on the track, it can compete very well with the top 3 cars due to its good handling and speed. Next up, we have 40% off the GB200. So this vehicle is in the sports class and is a pretty good car for rally style races, plus it has great customization and is a ton of fun to drive as well. Moving along, we have 50% off the 190Z. So this car is in the Sports Classics class and has tons of customization, and honestly is just a really good looking car. Now it's not all that fast, but it's still in top 20 for the Sports Classics class, which is still very respectable. Next up, we have 30% off the Tailgate S. So this of course is a car from the Tuners DLC. It has great customization and is pretty fun to drive as well. However, keep in mind that it is in the sedans class, not in the sports class as most people think. Moving on to the Service San Andreas website, we have 40% off the Sultan RS Classic. So this car is in the sports class and is a ton of fun to drive, plus it has great customization and is one of the fastest cars for tuner races. Overall, it's just a really nice car to own. Next up, we have 40% off the Futo GTX, the ultimate version of the Futo. This car is in the sports class as well, and of course has tons of customization. Moving along, we have 40% off the RT3000. So this car is also in the sports class and has tons of customization as well. And yes, these three are tuner DLC vehicles, as with most of the vehicles on discount this week. Moving on to the Benny's website, the conversion cost for the Mañana, which turns it into the Mañana Custom, is 40% off this week, which is awesome. That brings that custom conversion cost down to $555,000, which honestly is still pretty expensive for what it is. In terms of free items this week, the LS Car Meet membership, which normally is $50,000, is free this week if you don't own it already. In terms of double money, we have double money NRP on the land grab adversary mode, death matches, the ULP missions, the normal time trial, and for the auto shop business, we have double money NRP on customer deliveries, and the tuner contracts as well. In terms of bonuses, for those of you doing any tuner related activities this week, you will earn 3 times the rep. So rep unlocks you the trade prices for all the tuner cars. Every 5 levels you unlock the trade price for a random tuner car. So I highly recommend getting on that grind if you're a low rep level. Moving on to the Prime Gaming discounts for Prime Gaming members only. So again, same as usual. The only thing we have is the usual free $125,000 for logging in during the event week period. And lastly, this week's RC Bandito time trial is Cypress Flats. This week's normal time trial is Observatory. I highly recommend a fast bike such as the Hakachu Drag, Shotaro, or a Batty 801 for this time trial. In terms of the premium race for this week, we have the motorcycle race, A Sign of Things to Come. I highly recommend either the Shotaro or the Hakachu Drag for that race. And if you're on next gen, I highly recommend using the HSW Hakachu Drag. And lastly, for next gen console users, the HSW time trial is Sandy Shores. As always, the HSW Hakachu Drag will be the best one for these. In terms of my vehicle discount pick of the week, I'm going to have to go with the Sultan RS Classic at 40% off for one of the best cars for tuner races. Plus, it's pretty good at rally races as well, has tons of customization, is fun to drive, has great styling. It's really the overall package, and I think this is a fantastic deal on this car. Anyways guys, hope this was helpful. Overall, I think this is a very good event week with great vehicle discounts, bonuses, and of course, 2 drip feed cars that were added on the same day. One of the best event weeks we've had in a while. Let's hope Rockstar continues this trend, but honestly, I probably doubt it, but we'll see what happens next week. Anyways guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.